Attention Northwest Arkansas businesses and talent seekers. Introducing OnboardNWA.com, your hyperlocal job board crafted for our unique community. Struggling to find the perfect match for your job openings? Onboard NWA simplifies the hiring process, connecting you with the region's top talent through tailored talent matching solutions. Whether you're an employer seeking expertise or a professional looking for your next opportunity, Onboard NWA is here for you. Discover more at onboardnwa.com. And let's build the future of Northwest Arkansas together.
It's time for another episode of I Am Northwest Arkansas, the podcast covering the intersection of business, culture, entrepreneurship, and life in general here in the Ozarks. Whether you are considering a move to this area or trying to learn more about the place you call home, we've got something special for you. Without further ado, here's our fearless host, Randy Wilburn.
Hey folks, and welcome back to another episode of 5 New Things in Northwest Arkansas. At least that's what we're calling it right now. I'm your host, Randy Wilburn. I'm here with my new partner in crime, Jared Nally Toms, and Jared and I have come together. This is our second episode. It's a bonus episode that is part of the I Am Northwest Arkansas podcast program, and we are just talking about some of the new things that we are discovering or learning about here in Northwest Arkansas. And you know, it's funny, Jared, I thought about this earlier. Some of these new things aren't necessarily new in the sense that they're like brand spanking new.
Yeah.
Some of them are new to
Yes.
you. And so I want to make that disclaimer, right? Because it's not that we're just covering those people that have just rolled out the welcome carpet and are brand new restaurants or brand new businesses, but it's just that, you know, they are on our radar screen, and I think we know what's going on. So. Yeah. So, okay. So, what's going on with you and what do you have to share? I mean, I thought last week was really interesting, and, you know, we're going to try to be really good about keeping track of our time and all that. But what have you learned since we did our first episode?
Well, so I will say on the front end, it is a little bit heavy on Bentonville on the upfront, but it's not all Bentonville. So just heads up, if you are not in Bentonville, there is more for you. But the first 3 happen to be located in Bentonville. So
yeah, that's okay. And sometimes I think it'll be like that. You know, it might just be where some situations are going to be that Fayetteville gets a bunch of pub.
Exactly.
You know, but we were all over the map the last episode because we were in Eureka Springs, we were in Lowell, we were in Bentonville, Rogers, and Fayetteville. So we covered a little bit of everything. Yeah,
and we've got 3 Bentonville, 1 that covers all of Northwest Arkansas, and 1 in Eureka this time. So we've got a pretty good mix. And the first one is actually a new coffee food truck in Bentonville. So it's called Hype Coffee, and they're located on Walton Avenue, kind of near, I call it the Walmart gas station. They probably call it the Walmart convenience store, but you know what I'm talking about, on the corner. And it is a coffee food truck, 2 drive-through windows on either side of it, so you can kind of access both of them. What's unique about it that I like is they specialize in sugar-free drink options, and especially drinks for the keto community, because apparently that can be a little bit difficult to find depending on the coffee shop. You know, most places have maybe 1 or 2 sugar-free options, for instance. They have almost every single syrup has a sugar-free option, and there are at least 20 syrups on their menu. So it's a significant amount of options. And they even have unique flavors like sugar-free cookie dough, which I thought was really interesting. So, so if you're looking for like kind of a frozen blended drink with cookie dough flavor, that could be really, really good. They also have 5 milk substitutes to accommodate for dairy-free or different nut allergies or things like that. They have oat, almond, cashew, soy, and coconut milk, in addition to normal milk, and
Right.
half and half. So tons of options for people to customize. They also have these really good sweet specialty drinks that sound amazing, like the Funky Monkey, which is chocolate and banana, as it kind of sounds. The At Ease, which is chocolate and creme de menthe, which you don't find that much. And they have a mango chamoy smoothie. It's a mango smoothie with chamoy and tahini, which I personally love tahini. I don't know if a lot of people know what it is. It's kind of like I guess you could describe it as a Mexican spice blend that it goes with sweet things actually better even than savory. Like, I'm trying to think what people put it on watermelon a lot.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
I mean,
it's a decent spice. My son bought some from, what's that place called in Springdale where you can get something Amigos? It's kind of like a all-purpose store that sells a lot of different food items that you can't normally get. You won't get it in the neighborhood market. You won't get it at Harps.
Yep.
But they have a lot of food items that, you know, they bring in from other all over the world, actually. So
Yeah.
And it's a popular. My son loves to go there, and he buys all kinds of spices, and he tries some of the weirdest stuff. But if you want some weird food and you want to try something different, that's definitely the place to do it. But I only know that spice because I know he got it from there. So
It's so good. It goes really well with sweet things. So I think a mango smoothie with that just sounds delicious. They also have Red Bull creations, if you're a fan of Red Bull more than coffee. I'm not, but my husband is. So if you're a Red Bull person, they have a ton of those. And the military personnel and emergency workers get 10% off every day. So that's a great option for them. And they are open early. They are probably the coffee shop that is open the earliest. They open at 5:30 a.m.
Okay.
So they must get in at like 4:30, which that's just way too early for me, but very convenient for people. And then they close late at 8 p.m. So tons of options for you to stop by. It's on the way to Walmart home office for those that go by there, or I know that they're not back in the office yet, but maybe eventually they'll be back in the office. Soon. So, so they're located really conveniently on Walton Avenue. So definitely check them out. On your way closer to downtown Bentonville is another healthy food option coming to the heart of downtown Bentonville. It's called Sonny's on 2nd. And actually going into writing the script, I did not have an opening date until about an hour or so ago. I saw their Instagram. They are going...
Newsflash.
Yeah, right. So they are going to open Sunday, July 18th. So really soon, 7 a.m. They'll be open Fridays to Tuesdays from 7 to 3. So kind of like breakfast, lunch, weekend time frame. This is actually, so Sonny's on 2nd is the newest rope swing group concept to open. If you're not familiar, Rope Swing Group is a local hospitality company. They own Press Room, Preacher's Son, Louise, Record, Co-op, and Lake Street House. All amazing properties.
And we have featured several of their programs and several of their restaurants on the podcast as well, including A Preacher's Son for sure. So,
so this is another amazing option coming from them. As the name states, Sonny's on 2nd. It will be on 2nd Street in the same building as Yoga Story and Bar Cleta. And you can see the signage is really bright and fun. And the theme of the whole restaurant is kind of like a California feel. So if you can kind of imagine what that looks like, it's kind of like, it seems very 70s meets California. It's that kind of like groovy kind of vibe. And they aim to create a healthy, vibrant experience through good for you food and wellness programming. So we were kind of talking about this. I don't know what wellness programming means, but I'm excited about it. It could mean yoga classes. I would personally love to see healthy cooking classes, like maybe how to cook seasonally or things like that. So we'll see what that wellness programming entails, but it sounds very exciting. And then food-wise, they'll have smoothies, salads, sandwiches, soups, and a lot more, primarily utilizing local ingredients as much as possible. So probably getting stuff from the farmer's market is my assumption, and cooking with the season. And honestly, we really needed a great healthy option like this in the downtown kind of core for a walkable like lunch or breakfast, because I love Snack Lab and Juice Palm, but they're kind of closer to like 8th Street Market and not in the downtown core. So so that'll be amazing for like the farmer's market all summer, and just like everything in between, all First Fridays and everything else. So so that's a great option, coming to downtown Bentonville so soon on the 18th. Now, going in the complete opposite direction of dessert, there is a new food truck at Bentonville Brew Co. focused on all things beignet. It's called Mo Beignet. And if you're not familiar, a beignet is like a fluffy, sweet, deep-fried pastry. You'll most often find them associated with the French Quarter in New Orleans. So
Café du Monde.
Yes, exactly.
You haven't lived until you've had some chicory and beignets after a long night of partying in New Orleans at Café du Monde. Because I think they're open 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
And just put it this way: if you're wearing black when you go into Café du Monde, that is a no-no. You're not going to be wearing black. You're not going to be wearing black much longer. And Jara's laughing because the powdered sugar, the confectionery powdered sugar, is everywhere. Everywhere.
Yes,
so.
And that's what makes for a good beignet. So
Absolutely.
I mean, so that is exactly what Mo Beignet is trying to do. They have 4 menu items: 2 beignets, chicory coffee, and cafe au lait. So true, like New Orleans.
I'm there. I'm literally there, because that is something that I love beignets, and it's just hard to find a good beignet.
Exactly.
Maudie makes a great beignet. Cafe Rue Orleans there, right on North College, right above North. If you're headed on College going north towards away from downtown area, Cafe Rue Orleans, Maudie does amazing work, and she's just an amazing human being, and does a lot for the community.
Yeah.
So certainly a quick shout out to her, because her beignets are off the charts, but I can't wait to check these out.
I mean, they sound phenomenal. And in addition to the classic New Orleans style beignet, like they have that on the menu, of course, they have an Ozarks style beignet, which is the classic New Orleans style, the powdered sugar, but the beignet itself is filled with Arkansas chocolate gravy.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's different. That's different.
So if you don't know what chocolate gravy is, it's a very Southern thing. It's basically like it's the texture kind of a normal gravy, but it's a sweet gravy instead of savory. So it's got cocoa powder, flour, butter, sugar. Typically it's served over biscuits, but over beignets, that just sounds really good. It's a lot of sugar. Be prepared for that.
I can see myself going into a rush. Although I don't know about you, when it comes to certain desserts like that, I'm a purist. You know, I mean, I kind of like I like the simple cheesecake. I like I do like some flavored cheesecakes, but I like a simple cheesecake.
Yeah.
And when it comes to beignets, I'm just give me the regular beignet, and I'll scarf down several of them.
Oh, so. I know. I mean, it's easy to just like have a couple in front of you, and you're like, I'm just going to eat one, and they're all gone, and you're covered in powdered sugar.
Right. So.
Yeah. So they've got all of those options. They're in the patio area of Bentonville Brew Co. with the other food truck, and they're open Tuesday through Saturday, like lunch, dinner time. So you can get dessert with your beer or with your burger from Bergder Gustro Pub. We actually were at Bentonville Brew Co. and Bergder a couple nights ago, had their delicious burgers. So it would be a great like accompaniment with their burgers for sure.
Okay.
And then the next one is actually serving all of Northwest Arkansas. So it is called Home Sweet Home. This is for the IKEA lovers in Northwest Arkansas. So if you love IKEA but don't want to travel all the way to Kansas City or Dallas to get it, Home Sweet Home is for you. They are an independent IKEA delivery service that will order and pick up your IKEA items and deliver them to you in Northwest Arkansas.
Okay. So just to be clear, they actually take care of everything. You know what you want to order from IKEA. You tell them, they take care of ordering it.
Yep.
They pay for it and then pick it up.
Exactly. So you basically, you go on IKEA.com, pick out what you want. You send them a message on their website or a DM on Instagram, and then they will, of course, give you a quote, like the delivery is an additional fee. So you pay them, they do the order for you, they go pick it up at IKEA, and they bring it to your door.
How many times a week are they making a run to IKEA?
I think it's regularly at least once a week, if not more often.
And I'm assuming they're going to Kansas City.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
I'm pretty positive. There is one in Grand Prairie, Texas. So it's probably better
further
to go Kansas City.
Yeah, I think it's Kansas City's closer, and I've actually been to the 3 closest IKEAs to Northwest Arkansas, which would be Kansas City is the closest. Then you've got the Grand Prairie. Then you've got Houston.
That's true.
So so you have that. So,
so they go and pick it up for you. Now, they do not assemble it for you when you get it home. So you do still have that piece of IKEA that you
absolutely.
get to assemble.
I didn't even think about
furniture.
it. Wait, does St. Louis have an IKEA?
They don't. Or actually, they might. I think I was looking on their website. They might. Kansas City definitely does. I'm not 100% sure about St. Louis, but that they might go to St. Louis as well. It probably depends, honestly.
That's only 5 hours away, but that's about the same distance to Texas. So either way you look at it. So,
and it's saving you like a headache and a few hours of time. And especially if you're getting a big item from IKEA, you may not have the car to bring it back. So they are able to deliver it for you. And it's all of Northwest Arkansas that they cover. So
now here's the kicker. Will they assemble it for you?
Yeah, I know. That's
the question. That's what everybody's thinking. It's like, I love IKEA stuff, but I still have to put it together.
Yeah, so. That's like the rest of your Saturday is putting that thing together. So they'll at least eliminate one headache, maybe not the other one for you.
Right. That's cool.
Yeah. So the last item I have on the list is another one in Eureka. Eureka has a lot of new businesses opening, so there will probably be a few over the next few weeks, but it's called Slane Tavern. It is a new Irish pub that just opened up in Eureka on Spring Street. It's owned by Autumn and Rodney Slane, who also own Grotto Wood-Fired Grill and Wine Cave and Upstairs at Grotto. So they own 2 places in Eureka already. Actually, 2 of the top restaurants and bars in Eureka. So this is another one to add to the list. Slane Tavern is an intimate bar serving specialty whiskey and high-end cocktails. If you want to see photos of this cocktail, oh my gosh, she sent me a lot of photos of the cocktails, and I put them on my Instagram, of course, for last week's 3 new things on my Instagram. They are amazing looking, and it appears, I'm not 100% positive, but it appears that they have their own Slane whiskey as well. So amazing high-end whiskey that they make themselves, which is great. They'll also have sports on the TV, so it's casual enough. You can go watch a sports game, but get a really nice upscale high-end cocktail. They're also introducing light bites in the fall. Not sure what that will entail exactly, but she said light bites at the bar. And it will be good because Grotto is one of the top restaurants in Eureka. And I'm pretty positive Rodney is the chef at Grotto. So I assume he will make the menu as well at Slane. And the backdrop of the bar, she sent me pictures of this as well. I just didn't get a chance to put it up, but you can see it on their Instagram. The backdrop of the bar is filled with books. So it's kind of like that intimate, cozy, bar, kind of neighborhood bar feel. And they're only open right now Friday and Saturday, 5 to 11. So weekend only, kind of like I mentioned with Eureka last time. A lot of them are weekend only. But yeah, that is a great new bar option. And as far as I know, there is not another Irish pub in Eureka Springs. And honestly, Irish pub-wise in Northwest Arkansas, we used to have the one in downtown Bentonville. I'm trying to think of, we used to have Mickey Finn's in Fayetteville, and I don't know of another Irish pub specifically.
Yeah, I can't think of any. And honestly, Irish pubs are some of the most profitable types of restaurants to own, or typically because most Irish pubs have food and obviously a lot of alcohol and beer. Yeah. And so I do some entrepreneurial research and study, and I follow this group, and actually they did this deep dive research, and they said one of the most profitable types of restaurant slash bars to open would be an Irish pub.
That's so interesting.
It is.
Like you wouldn't
really
think
is.
about that.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
It makes sense.
It does make
Totally
sense. It does make sense. So, I mean, you don't need a lot to sling beer and to make, Irish whiskey goes down easy. And so, I mean, there's a lot of options that you have there. It's funny as you talk about that. And did you have anything that you wanted to add to
No,
Sling
that's
Tavern?
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wanted to just kind of share this kind of public service announcement. And I noticed recently, and I don't know about you, and I've noticed that since I've been here in Northwest Arkansas, I haven't been as much of a reader of Yelp, for reviews and things of that nature. I honestly go by people like you and people like I Am Gastronome and Hangry Peddler and other people that post really great information about restaurants. But one thing that I have noticed lately, and I'm reading reviews of restaurants lately. When I say lately, I'm talking about in the last 2 to 3 months. I wanted to just provide a dose of reality for all of us as consumers, that a lot of restaurants, a lot of places that are trying to get their sea legs about them and get back to really serving a wide variety of people are still struggling. Because they don't have enough people.
No.
And a lot of times, if you have a bad experience at a restaurant, my encouragement and advice, I mean, unless it's just really, really bad and they're just nasty, I get that. But if the food wasn't good or it kind of took long or something along those lines, you need to think about the fact that, and that's my Alexa in the background there. I apologize about that. I'll have to shut her off the next time. But you'll have to think about the fact that these restaurateurs and proprietors are doing all they can to keep a place staffed up, to make sure that they're providing good quality food. And I get it. Sometimes you will just have a bad experience. But a lot of restaurants deserve a mulligan. Right?
Yeah, they really, and especially if they're new too, they're figuring it out, and they may have issues with their POS that they haven't figured out the POS process, which is point of sale basically. But like, I always give restaurants a second chance, because you just never know. They could have not received a shipment. They don't have enough help right now. And think about it. During the pandemic, they had to add delivery and curbside and all these things. And now they still have that, but then they're also going back to bringing people into the restaurant. So it's really a big shift for a lot of people, and people are still getting used to it, but they're also just, people are flooding in like they didn't before. Right. I agree. Just kind of give people a second chance. And I would say before you write that negative review, maybe send a note to the restaurant first.
Directly.
Yeah, send them a DM.
You'd be surprised the kind of response you'll get.
I mean, they will really try. Great restaurants will try to help you. And maybe it's the manager or the owner, whoever it is, will send a message back and say, I'm so sorry. Give us a second chance. Don't necessarily just go to the negative review. I mean, if they were really rude to you, that's a really different story.
Sure.
But at least give them a chance first to respond.
Absolutely. And I'm only saying that just from the vantage point of, as I was going out the other night to go eat some dinner, and we were looking at some reviews, and I was noticing these were recent reviews, and I'm like, man, people are just roasting folks for, little things. And I mean, I get it, stuff doesn't work out the way you want it to. Sometimes that happens. That's like life though, right?
Yeah.
And I think we're all looking for approval and affirmation, but sometimes we don't get it the way we expect to. Yeah. So I just wanted to share that. It was just something I observed. And I know that, and I would say that most of the proprietors of restaurants and food trucks here in Northwest Arkansas especially are doing all they can to make it the best experience possible. Yeah,
exactly. And if they're in a food truck especially, maybe especially in the summer, cut them some slack and get them a bottle of water, because it's really hot in those food trucks too. Or even in the kitchen, in the back of a really hot kitchen. It's stressful. It's hot. Give them a break sometimes.
Yeah. And I think the other perspective is simply that a lot of these folks that are doing these food trucks, a lot of these are passion plays for people. What people don't realize is that most restaurants don't make the kind of profit or money that we think they're making. Even if people are hanging out the doors, right? Even if you just get a lot of traffic. I've been amazed at when I've talked to certain restaurant proprietors that operate what I would consider, and I'm using air quotes here, very popular restaurants. And then they show me the actual numbers, and you're like, wow.
Yeah,
exactly. You think, oh, these guys they're just printing money, but that's not the reality. And so,
they work nights, they work weekends, they work holidays, they work all the time
Yeah.
to bring you like amazing food. So
Yeah. And that, I mean, we're that's the case anywhere, right?
Yeah.
So if you're listening to this and you're in another part of the country thinking about coming to Northwest Arkansas, we're not unlike any other place as far as that's concerned, but definitely support your local restaurant when and where possible. And it will make a difference in the long run for our economies as we continue to come out of this pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of pandemic, if you can get vaccinated, again, this is not a political show, and I don't ever talk about that, but get vaccinated.
Yes,
this Delta
please.
variant is no joke.
Please
and
do.
It's scaring the heck out of folks. And, I would just encourage that so that we can get back to some sense of normalcy, which I think we're all craving.
Yes.
Am I right?
Yes, I 100% agree. Get vaccinated. The side effects are nothing compared to I had COVID last year, so I know exactly what it's like, and you don't want to get it. So if you want to keep your taste and smell, for instance, I lost it for a straight 2 to 3 weeks. So you can imagine how bad that was for me. And I know people had it so much worse.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But if you have the chance and you are able to, please get vaccinated to prevent it.
Yeah, no, that's it. And that's our PSA for the day.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna leave it at that.
Yeah.
And anything else you want to add?
No, I think that's it. Just go and support these businesses, and if you have something new that you've discovered that we need to know about, send us a DM on Instagram. I am Northwest Arkansas or at Jara and Allie Toms.
Absolutely, yeah. And we'll all this will be in the show notes as well for this bonus episode. And if you follow I Am Northwest Arkansas as a podcast, you will get it automatically in whatever podcast player of choice that you choose to use. So that's all we have. We brought this in under 26 minutes, Jared.
Yes.
That's pretty good. So
That's really good.
we shaved 10 minutes off of the last
will
episode.
take that.
So now we're going to try to get under 20 and see where it goes from there.
Yep.
But we really appreciate you guys taking time out of your schedule to listen. We hope you have a great weekend and that you're able to take some of the advice that we shared about the coffee food truck in Bentonville, Sonny's on 2nd in Bentonville, All Things Beignets, a new food truck in Bentonville, and then Home Sweet Home. We'll put a link to their website on the show notes, and then Slane Tavern in Eureka Springs, because we got to give a shout out to our cousins out east in Eureka Springs. So that's all we have for this episode of 5 New Things in Northwest Arkansas. We hope you like it. Please give us some feedback. Let us know what we can fix, and we'll continue to work on it and improve this particular podcast. I'm Randy Wilburn, your host for the I Am Northwest Arkansas podcast, here with Jara and Allie Toms. We guys hope you have a wonderful day, and we will see you soon. Peace.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of I Am Northwest Arkansas. Check us out each and every week, available anywhere that great podcasts can be found. For show notes or more information on becoming a guest, visit IamNorthwestArkansas.com. We'll see you next week on I Am Northwest Arkansas.